Hi, so for my reflection video, I wanted to talk about the Atomic Cafe film that we watched, and really the nuclear arms era of America when it was all getting started is what stands out to me. They were first dropped in 1945, and fear of propaganda became part of everyday life. Americans were taught that nuclear power made us secure, but in reality, it may have just made fear normal. It starts off with Paul Tibbets, the pilot of the Enola Gay. He's describing how he dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima. He speaks calmly and proudly, as if he's simply doing his job. I was told to do a job and I did it, he says. His words kind of show how the bomb was seen as a symbol of victory and progress, not destruction. He mentions how it was almost seen as a science experiment. That sort of reflects how many Americans view nuclear weapons as scientific success, not mortal danger. And the film also goes into the destruction of Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and how they also were treated almost like science experiments. Each city was hit with a different bomb, one uranium, one plutonium, to measure their effects. Afterward, the U.S. scientists entered the ruins to study the radiation, burns, and destruction patterns. The people of Japan were test subjects, and it had become a war and a research project. This moment sort of shows how science and power began to blend in dangerous ways. Afterwards, we kept our nuclear testing up in Bikini Atoll in the Pacific. Soldiers, animals, ships all placed near the blast just to study radiation. They filmed the test and shared them with the public as proof of progress. It was actually just another experiment, sort of testing how much the world could watch and still think that nuclear weapons mean safety. Afterwards, of course, the Soviet Union tested its first atomic bomb in 1949, and the U.S. lost its monopoly on nuclear power. Overnight, communist attack fears filled newspapers, homes, schools. The enemy could strike at any time. Civil defense drills, air raid sirens, duck and cover films, they all became part of everyday life, and this had kind of turned into a competition of fear. We're just out racing each other to out-threaten each other. And I think one of the more interesting things I didn't know about was the communist town in Wisconsin, where they had staged a fake communist takeover. And I think this sort of revealed that propaganda didn't just come from abroad, it also came from inside America to measure loyalty and obedience. And so, as fear grew, of course, the hunt for spies became the main topic. Senator McCarthy had claimed spies were everywhere. People like the Rosenbergs were convicted and lost their lives. And so I think this is all just a powerful reminder that propaganda doesn't always look like lies. Sometimes it looks like reassurance, and I think that's probably why this section stood out to me so much from our course.